Choosing the right microphone can be a bit of a minefield. There's so many to choose from, each promising different levels of functionality, practicality, and most importantly, cost. Rode are a company that always excel in delivering a fantastic range of impressive microphones for various kinds of budgets. And perhaps their most popular range of microphones right now are these two, the Rode PodMic and the Rode Podcaster. Now they both allude to podcasting in their names, but how much difference is there really between them? And ultimately, which one is better? Well, allow me to tell you all about the odds and sods of these two pods. So first of all, let's talk about how they look. We'll start with the Podcaster. As you can see, the Podcaster is bright white, and I know it's not everyone's favourite colour, but don't let that put you off. It's a very durable, very weighty, very solid feeling piece of kit. Now the good thing about the Rode microphones is even though they don't look like much on the outside, it's actually in the inside where they're very impressive. Included inside this Rode Podcaster is an internal shock mount, so to stop all the vibrations and shaking around. And also it's got an inbuilt pop filter, so for any pops and plosives, it's definitely going to work to your advantage. Now, the main comparison between these two microphones, which we'll explore a little bit later, is the connection. As you can see, this is a USB connection, so you can plug it straight into your computer and it will work, just like that. No mixers or audio interfaces required. Now, looking at the front, there are a couple of other things that are worth your time. There is a direct headphone input and a little dial to change the volume. So even though you can't use this necessarily with a mixing desk, you can still adjust the levels accordingly for your recording. And you know what? I did say before, white might not be everyone's favorite color, but you know what? It's a very classy, very great looking microphone. So for something a little bit different, we've got the Rode PodMic. Now, I don't know if you were able to tell, but I wheezed slightly picking that up because this weighs a ton. It's definitely a lot heavier than the Rode Podcaster, and if you get two of these, you don't need a gym membership. But let's have a look at the Rode PodMic. It looks pretty sleek, you must say. It's very easy on the eye, this. It looks very professional, dare I say. I don't really want to say the word premium, but no doubt I will later. But it just looks a lot more attractive in my sense. There's a bit more of an upper class look to it. But yeah, it's very durable, very weighty, as I just said before, and perhaps one of the most underappreciated but still, highly important features of this is this. It's sort of mic stand boom arm capability like that. You can just screw it onto a boom arm like that and away you go. Whereas the Podcaster requires your sort of ring mount. It will come with the box, but as you can see, it's just pointed towards your mouth, and it's quite a long microphone, as you can see. Whereas this one is stubby; it's a bit more petite. Again, with the Rode Podcast, there's not a lot going to it, but again, don't let the simplicity put you off. This is a great microphone, which we will explore a little bit later. The last thing to note is its connection type, which very different to the USB cable is this. It's an XLR microphone, and this just plugs in as you would with an XLR cable. So obviously, if you do want to use the Rode PodMic, then you are going to need a mixer or an audio interface, which when you add it on top of this microphone's $99 roughly price tag, it can get a little bit pricier. But if you arguably want more control and better quality sound, being able to fade in and fade out your voice and your volume, then well, the Rode PodMic is the best way to go. Okay, so enough dilly-dallying. Let's put these microphones where my mouth is, literally, and let's give them a little test. First of all, the Rode PodMic. So I've taken it to our sound booth here, a nice sort of way of isolating all the noisy environment around us so we can hear how well this microphone picks up my voice. So I feel I got a very sort of warm, broadcasty voice anyway, but I feel the Rode PodMic really complements it. It really sort of brings out the warmness and the clarity of my voice, which is, I guess, kind of expected with an XLR microphone. Arguably they do sound a lot clearer and a lot better, and I feel, well, the Rode PodMic is doing exactly what it's supposed to. In terms of what I've got it connected to, I've got it connected to a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. Currently, it's on almost full gain. So you do have to use a lot of gain, as you tend to do with dynamic microphones. But yeah, so almost full. It is, well, kind of classes it as very power hungry, very similar to its older brother, the Rode Procaster. So yeah, I really like the sound of this microphone, but I'd be very interested in seeing how, or rather hearing how it compares to a USB powered one, because, well, arguably they're not supposed to be as good. But I feel I'm going to be quite surprised. Okay, so now we're with the Rode Podcaster, and I guess right off the bat, I don't like the sound of my voice as well as I did with the Rode PodMic. That could be because, with the Rode PodMic, it was run through an audio interface, a good audio interface at that, or alternatively a mixing desk. So you're not getting a lot of the preamp and a lot of the, the level definition that you can, adjusting the sound of your microphone through that. So this is just my pure voice running through a cable straight into my computer. It could be that. I mean, I do like the sound of my voice. It's not as bad as I initially made it out to be. I'm sounding incredibly clear, which is, the main thing that you want from a microphone. It doesn't matter how, as I said with the PodMic, how warm and inviting my voice sounded. It needs to be clear, and that's exactly what you get with the Podcaster. A nice, clear, crystal clear at that. I'll go far as saying sound to my voice, but there's something with an XLR microphone I think is just a lot better. There's a lot more you can do with it. It's a lot more versatile. But, again, for the microphone, for it plugging straight into your computer, it's an incredibly well-sounding microphone, just not the right one necessarily for my voice. There is a main problem as well. A lot of that. There's a lot of touching and feeling, and whether you want to or not, I guess it is just to do with how it is built. It was a lot more noticeable in this than the Rode PodMic, but yeah, a lot of banging around is not great for a microphone. So it needs to be on a boom arm. If not, then I don't know what you're going to do. But okay, well, let's take it out into an open air environment. No, we're not going outside. We're just going into a shared office space to see how well it does in an open environment. Well, here we are. We're in our sort of wide open office environment. We're out of the isolated sound booth just to see how well this microphone picks up our voice when there's lots of distractions and environmental distractions. But I'm not alone. You can see I'm joined by Lorraine off the social media team.
Hi.
So Lorraine, I've not got you here just because you look like a girl, but you also sound like a girl, and you've got, I guess, stereotypically a much sort of lighter sounding voice than my sort of bassy male one as such.
I mean, we'll see how that goes. It's pretty husky today, but yeah, okay.
So it's just to see how well this microphone sounds with just a different sort of toned voice to mine. So,
For sure.
So first of all, Lorraine, podcasting, is that something that you are involved in much?
Yeah, so I consider myself an early adopter to podcasting, been listening to them for over 10 years, working on my own podcast. So yeah, wait, right there. That's not the saying. But anyway, yeah.
Care to share any details on your own podcast?
Yeah, so it's called My Best Friend Is You, and it's a podcast about friendship. Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
It makes me ashamed of mine because mine is just really, really silly. Now let's do a little awkward musical chair segment. So I'm going to move over to the PodMic, and Lorraine's going to move over to here to see how well a voice sounds on a USB microphone. There we go. That was, I don't know if you, Lorraine, but that was less awkward than I thought it would have been.
It was as awkward as I imagined it was going to be, so that's fine. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, my podcast is just, I'm doing it with friends, so it's about friendship to some regard, but it's just about watching an old TV show from the 90s, really.
What TV show?
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh, I know this one. Yeah. Yes. Oh, that's so great. Yeah.
There we go.
That's amazing.
You know what? Those
just absolute nostalgia. Perfect.
Thank you very much. I don't know whether your kind words are sincere or just polite, but thank you very much.
We'll never know, but yeah.
Excellent. So again, just see what your sort of voice sounds like on this particular microphone now. For your podcast, do you tend to use a USB microphone or like an XLR microphone like?
So we're pretty lo-fi, so we're using a Zoom right now. Hopefully graduate into something sort of fancier. So yeah, I guess I'll be looking at your videos to see what recommendations you can make for me.
Excellent, and hopefully you'll be able to listen back to this and decide whether which one is better for you, because there's a considerable price difference between the two.
Yeah.
So hopefully, the best one that you sound on is the one that's good for your budget.
Yeah, I guess this is like free testing for me, so that's great.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Lorraine, for helping me out.
My pleasure.
Very welcome.
Okay.
So, what do you think? Which of Rode's entry-level podcast-aimed microphones is better suited to you? I personally prefer the Rode PodMic, I think. On a vein level, I like the way that it looks. I mean, it looks a little premium, and even though that sounds a little snobbish and a little bit strange, I do like the way that it looks, the way it feels. It's also quite, quite versatile with this, the mechanism here on there. It offers a lot more than the Podcaster because it's shoved in your face or shoved in your face. That's the only option. It's also cheaper than the Rode Podcaster. I mean, I know you just need to connect it to a computer with the USB cable, but even with a good audio interface or a mixing desk, I think you're still better off with the Rode PodMic. But that's what I think anyway. But what about you? Let us know below. And if you'd like more information on launching your own podcast, more reviews on podcasting equipment, or just some sound podcasting advice, then head over to our website, Podcast.co.
Hey, it's James here, founder of Podcast.co. I'm guessing you like microphones. Well, do you know what? I'm a little bit of a geek and I do too. We've got all kinds of things, just like the video you've just watched, over on our website at Podcast.co. We also operate a podcast hosting service, which is totally awesome. You can sign up for free and give us a whirl. You can even import your podcast from a different provider. So head on over to Podcast.co and click on that sign up button, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Remember to subscribe to our channel, and if you like this video, please leave a comment below.